As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages of my marketing plan. Crystal Mitchell.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And Crystal, what have we got going on today?
It's been a wild week. So today is Friday, April the 13th.
Oh,
and
man.
Our illustrious president has been suffering from April the 13th all week long. And it has been hilarious watching. And last night I thought that the news group was just going to come unglued with so much information.
So it's breaking news, right?
I mean, he is like in a tsunami. It's coming from a tornado. It's coming from all directions.
I tell you, man, this is unbelievable, man.
It is.
We don't even know what we've got anymore. You know, we have a democracy. What do we have?
I don't know what we have, but I do know that when you're watching the news cycle with all of the, and I have my favorites so that I can hear the real stuff. But I do notice that the Trump supporters are becoming less and less. They don't really have much to say.
That's right.
He just comes off like he's like the old uncle that you want to keep around when you have the family reunion. You don't want Uncle Joe to come out because he's going to mess up the whole thing.
Just have him come out long enough just to get some food and go back in.
Now take it to Uncle Joe. We don't want Joe. No, don't give him any alcohol because now he's going to be really embarrassing everybody. So that's kind of what the White House has become. Mm-hmm. And it is kind of interesting. But, you know, I know for me, and I don't know about for everybody else in our listening to us, but to me, the main characteristic that I look for in a person is honesty and integrity.
Yeah.
That's on the top of my list.
And it seemed like those things are a dying breed now. They don't exist anymore in people.
They don't exist.
Unbelievable, man.
I mean, this is, I think, the worst I think I've ever seen. I mean, I've worked in companies that has a shady side to them. Yeah. But wow. Woo. I don't even know what it would be like to. I would not be working in the White House, but that would be horrible. That would be one of those places that you have to pray all the way and do motivational. Tony Robbins, Les Brown,
everybody,
and you probably have to go back to old school people. Zig Ziglar. You have to go to the dead motivators
to keep things going the right way.
Just to get in the door of the workplace, because it's like, wow, that must be such a toxic place to work.
It is, man. I've never seen any organization where people are quitting so quickly, so fast. You see what I mean?
I know.
In less than 14 months, we've had over 50 people who have quit or terminated their jobs.
And that's supposed to be like the covenant of jobs.
Yes.
Is to work in the White House.
That's like the ideal.
That's to be able to put that on your resume. Yeah. But when you do your resume and you redo your resume, and you're going, should I take this one off?
Yeah, exactly.
That one would never even get on there. I would never ever put that I worked at the White House from 2016 to 2017. That just wouldn't even happen. That was like a bad dream.
What were you doing during 2016 and 17?
I
was doing some consulting. Some independent consulting.
I left the country to be with my aunt in Africa.
I was traveling the world.
There is no record of what I did. I make no money. I just wasn't here. Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
It is just like, it's it's a bad nightmare. It's a bad B movie.
Yeah.
It is a B movie.
Yeah.
This will make an amazing subplot for any writer, producer, director, anywhere.
And the thing is, you want it to end, but at the same time, you really want to see every aspect of it out. You want to see it out to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, you do. And that's why they keep saying. I mean, but every day there's a new chapter or a new nuance and definitely a new crazy tweet. Today we already know he probably has like an 8th grade level education and command of the English language, right? His wife probably has a better command and she wasn't even born here. Yeah. But today, talk about anybody out there that are reading the text today and they have a thing about grammar. Oh, it was like probably chalk on a chalkboard. He just went off to the side.
Unbelievable.
Hey, Rochelle says, you guys are so funny, but you guys are so on point. Actually, very sad and disappointing.
Hey, Rochelle.
It actually is very sad and disappointing. I just wonder, my mother, when she was alive, and one of the things, and my family and I think that she stayed alive an extra 2 years, because that was when we were going through the Bush era, right? And she hated Bush with every fiber in her being. But I think I have to thank him, because that's what probably kept her alive for another 2 years, because I don't care how sick she was after chemo, if he was on, she'd be ranting and raving. She didn't want to stay in the bed. She wanted to get up so she could be able to fight back.
He energizes her.
So I don't even know what this would be like for her right now. This man has taken, I think he embodied all of the bad Nixon and all the bad presidents we've ever had. It's all rolled up into this one lunatic.
You know, they talk about Frankenstein, right? Yeah. That's what that is. That's a Frankenstein right there, because you embodied all of the old bad presidents.
Right, and put them all there. And then you've taken all of the other bad people and made them news journalists on Fox. And I mean, just ridiculous stuff. This is a reality TV gone wrong. And definitely a argument for there to be no more reality TV.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That is unbelievable.
So we just have to stay tuned. But today is April 13th, and it's been April 13th for Trump all week long.
April 13th. Wow. I didn't even realize. I knew something was happening, but I just didn't realize it was Friday the 13th.
Yeah, today is Friday the 13th.
Wow,
Peter's trying to call me. Peter, I can't talk to you when I'm on the air, dude. So, you know, this month is Black Business Month, supporting and saluting Black businesses, and as well as a Financial Literacy Month, which kind of go hand in hand with our businesses, right?
Yes.
So as I was doing some research, Rochelle, who also knew my mom, she said Rose is rolling on her grave right now. That's probably very true, Rochelle. But as I was doing some research on April being declared as Black History Month, one of the things I found was a press release that was written, and Recycling Black Dollars creates a boulevard of pride to encourage the support of Black Business Month. So in 1996, Muhammad Nazarene, who is the founder of Recycling Black Dollars, and as well, RBD is one of the sponsors of the BusinessZone, and I'm the co-director of the BusinessZone of the Recycling Black Dollars. And there was a press release that was written, and and I'm going to read some of it. It is 4 miles of pride and enterprise, lined alongside of Crenshaw Boulevard, from Jefferson Boulevard to Florence Avenue, are green, white, and black banners with the names of businesses who are helping to transform Los Angeles urban communities into bustling centers of commerce in celebration of Black Business Month. So for the first time, Recycling Black Dollars has created the Boulevard of Pride campaign to pay tribute to the contributions of Black-owned businesses. The Boulevard of Pride is part of an overall mission to raise awareness about the need to sustain existing and increase new businesses in our community. Ever since 1996, Recycling Black Dollars has asked all communities to support black-owned business in Los Angeles County, particularly during the month of April. The purpose of the event is to bring attention to new socioeconomic trends. In the past, African Americans were more concerned with civil rights that address such issues as fair housing and voting privileges. Today, the movement is focused on economic revitalization through self-empowerment. LA County at this time had 28,000 black-owned businesses in the country, more than any other county in America, said Mohammed Nazardine, CEO of Recycling Black Dollars. Black Business Month must get as large as the Black History Month because our economic future is at stake. And we join forces with many other businesses and political leaders to kick off Black Business Month at a celebration held in front of the Los Angeles Sentinel. So today, I'm sure if we look that there are less than 28,000, because I know 300 of them are no longer on Crenshaw, and that was the Boulevard of Pride.
Right.
So, and I didn't know this about Recycling Black Dollars. I found out about Recycling Black Dollars later on. I think it was like 97, 98, because I had just started my own business at the time, and so I became part of it. And I was kind of in college, so I don't even know if I ever drove down Crenshaw with flags that said, but I think that's an excellent idea. Right. And I think because I'm all big on collaboration, and I've been talking to some individuals, including Victor Parker, on how do we change what's going on in our community and with our Black business owners. How do we elevate them up to a place where they're doing that type of business? Right. And one of the things that was also mentioned in this article was that the businesses that we own, they weren't just barbershops. They weren't just beauty shops. We had real businesses. But I do know there are a number of those businesses, because we're not supporting our own businesses, that the owners have retired and shut down the business, so no succession. Right. And I know a lot of our community-based organizations, our CBOs, they're going to eventually shut down because there's no succession. So what happens to us? Do we just disappear, or do we take this in hand and all of us that are in our community do something about it?
Well, that's why programs like the Business Zone is here to take situations like those, rebuild them, repurpose them, and re-implement them. Right. And that's what we got to do. So you mentioned Victor Parker. We need to bring folks like him in. We need to bring folks like our guests today in and, have a lot of resources sit at the table and see how we can get this going. Yes. Because otherwise it's just going to disappear. And we can't afford to have that. No, because, again, it's the economic... Well, first of all, if you have a city or a country that is inclusive of all ethnicities, and if one of those or several of those are not producing, then that's a broken link. Right. Then that affects everyone because they're all living in the same community. So even those with the really new look on making America great again, which is, a euphemism for making America white again, that is never going to happen because it never was white in the first place. That's right. But we are all together. Have to work together. The blacks and the Latinas and the Jewish community and the Asian community, we have to be able to take care of our own cities. Right. And then that's why that article you read last week on the show is so critical about the Black demographics. Yes. That is really crucial. I've been delving into that ever since you brought it up, and it's amazing. I'm looking at some of the numbers, Crystal, and they're not very good. They're not very good at all. Not very good. No, they're not. And there's major issues, not just in our economic pool. The economic structure lends into our education systems, to where we live. Today, I saw an article it was through one of my news feeds, and I get lots of news feeds. But last year when I went to Baltimore and with the kids, and we were taking them, and we actually
were on a bus coming through some parts of Baltimore that looked like it had just been hit by a bomb. And kind of looking like Palestine and those places.
In Syria.
In Syria.
Yeah.
And so today I'm looking, and of course now they allowed that to happen. I mean, these places were literally boarded up. So now they have allowed that to happen because now the property is dirt cheap.
Right.
And then those that are coming in to gentrify the area, again, pushing the minorities out of the community to wherever the hell they're supposed to go to be able to take over the property. They did that in Detroit.
Yeah.
And so when there's certain parts of Crenshaw, when you look at it, we don't walk down Crenshaw with pride. No. Not the way it is now because you have so many dilapidated business. But I will guarantee you after 2020, when the train is up, then people are going to walk down it with pride.
Yeah, because that's when gentrification steps in.
Right, it's already stepping in. Same thing with Inglewood. You can drive down. I worked in Inglewood, and I was in Inglewood for 10 years. Market Street looked like it was all boarded up. You had a few businesses here and there. I bank at Broadway Federal, so there's empty lots all through. And I've been with Broadway Federal probably for the last 15 years. Yeah. So now we're building new businesses. We got a new senior citizen housing. Mm-hmm. Why? Because the stadium's coming in. Yeah. The property is up almost to $900 million in Inglewood.
Exactly.
So, those are the things. But if we don't, so it affects us economically because if you are working and you look at rent today, you have to have 9 people living in a one-bedroom apartment just to afford to pay the rent.
That's true.
And when the rent is more expensive than the mortgage,
they're unbelievable.
I mean, I know homeowners complain about property and taxes and stuff, but at least it's your property. Imagine paying $4,000 a month for something that belongs to somebody else.
And that's no accident. Because think about it. On the mortgage side, blacks and minorities, they're not going to get the mortgage they need. Right. So what are you left with? Renting. Right. So that's why on the renting side, they jack up the price. Yes. So they know over here you're not going to make it and over here you're not going to make it. So what's going to happen? The homeless population is going to increase.
Well, it has. It's at 58,000 people living in the street because they cannot afford. I wouldn't afford to pay anything over. I don't even think $1,700 is about as much as I'm going to pay for somebody else's place.
Unbelievable. I'm looking at these statistics, Crystal, and I'm looking at African Americans by population, by state. Mm-hmm. So you've got, let me see, about 6 states, right? Mm-hmm. That's really up there, 7. Right. In terms of the population number. New York is the largest African America occupied state. Right. Then you got Texas with 3.7 million. Then you got Florida with 3.7. Mm-hmm. Georgia with 3.4. California is number 5. Mm-hmm. They've got 2.9 million African Americans. I'm sure there's more out there, but this is what the census captured. Mm-hmm. And then you've got North Carolina 2.3, and then it goes down to to Mississippi at 1.1 million, and then that's it. Everything else underneath that is like 700 and 400,000. Right. It's unbelievable. I know, which is why there's no voice in the South. No voice. But a lot of us have moved to the South. But you have, me personally, my ancestors are from the South. Yeah. And I remember, and you lived in Mississippi, right? Yeah, yeah. So I remember the very first time, I want to say I was 9 when I went to Alabama for the first time. And, I was 9, and I was with my family, and my mom, and we were supposed to only be there for 2 weeks. Yeah. And that 2 weeks went into 3 weeks, and then 4 weeks, and I would assume there was something going on with my stepfather, which is why we were there so long. Yeah. But my mom, we never knew it because that's just the kind of how just how she rolled. Right. That was none of our business. Right. But about the 5th week, I was like, okay, what the heck is happening around here? Mm-hmm. We need to get back to New York. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We need not to be down in here because this is a crazy place. Yeah. And I remember having conversation with my cousin's grandmother, and my mother, we were taught to be respectful. We were taught to
we're very obedient, because if not, we would have got beat to. I wouldn't be sitting here having a conversation with you today. But I remember my cousin's grandmother yelling at us because we weren't saying yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am.
Yeah.
And so my mom had left us in her care, and then when she came back to pick us up, we were all crying and going on. She's like, "What is going on?" But this lady was really chastising us for not saying yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. And my mom said, "I didn't teach my children to be subservient,
right? So
they're not going to say that. They're going to say yes, Mrs. Whatever, and yes, Mr. Whatever. They're not going to speak to you out of your name, but they're not subservient." She said, "That's why I left the South, because I am not submissive to anybody." And so that was crazy. The problem. It was like, okay, let's not ever come back here again, Mom.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
But you get that. You get a lot of subservient. And you've seen, I think last week there was some guy that was upholding the Confederate flag because he's lived all his life in the South, and that's just the life that they live, right? But that's the division, again, of us as black people, because some of us want to stay under the radar, because if we feel that we don't make a lot of waves and do a lot of drawing attention, that they'll leave us alone. But they're not going to leave us alone, because we are the secret. Yeah. That they don't want anybody else to talk about. They want us to forget about that 400 years of slavery and cruelness. And they also don't want people to know that this country was built on the backs of us.
It's not going to happen.
No.
Not going to happen.
Right. So we have to take control. And this is probably a good time while Washington is all up in arms with the thieves and the crooks and the mafia gang leaders for us to do what they ain't got time to be worried about the black folks right now. So the black folks can go and do what they do.
We got to start doing something. So I'm looking at this right here, Crystal. 2.9 million blacks in California, which is actually 8% of the population. We know from our research and our studies that of that, any occupation number, African American, well, primarily African American, only 25% of that are entrepreneurs. So we're looking at about 750,000?
Yes.
African Americans.
Yeah, it's about 750,000. I think I've looked
So now we're going to have to collaborate with other groups in order to make what we're trying to do viable. Because we can't do it by ourselves. Yes, we can try, we can make noise and all of that, but it's not going to happen. So we got to put a plan together to see how we can collaborate with all these other groups to make this work. And
that's why I think, I talk about that plan that's in place that's actually operational in Oklahoma, the Oklahoma Empowerment Group, where they were able to take, and I don't know what it says, what's the population of blacks there in Oklahoma?
In Oklahoma?
Yeah, Omaha. They're in Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, okay.
And I know it's got to be small.
Okay, let's see what Nebraska is. Nebraska is way down on the
way down there on the list.
There's, oh Lord, it's 115,000 blacks in Nebraska.
So that little
6%
small
of their population.
Group, 6% of that small group created a coalition.
Yeah.
Where they're working together in this, it's called Empower Nebraska, and they've been able to elevate their youth, and they broke it down into 7 empowerment zones. So one is entrepreneurship and jobs. One is youth and education. One is, I think, health and family. And then one is, what else is it? Let me pull it up. So health and family, and there's faith, and then there's one that's arts and culture, right? So they've taken all of those 7 area clusters and brought together a cohesive hierarchy, so to speak, or empowerment zone, and now they're all working together.
That's good.
So everyone working in the arts and the culture and in that, they're all of the little splinter groups are working underneath that banner.
And see, that's good, because now that's how they can attract other groups to those areas.
Right.
Because now they have something to entice them.
Right. And so each one of those groups, if you take entrepreneurship and jobs, everyone, the banking and the finances, they need people to be better qualified for loans and everything that falls into the finance area, right? So they work on their financial literacy. They work everything in that quadrant. And then you go to health and family, well, the churches and the faith, so they all feed into each other, which is where it is. So you create an environment, a holistic environment that everybody's working together.
That's great.
So that 115,000 people, they did it.
Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing.
So they can increase that.
115,000. That's about the population of Alhambra.
Right. And as he told me, he said the only thing that right then, and I saw him last year when I went to the Power Network conference, and I'm sure I'll see him again this year.
Yeah.
He said the only thing that they don't own right now is the hospital, and they are working on that.
Wow. We need to reach out to those folks and, and get a copy of their blueprint.
Yeah, he will come, and so I'm putting together some key influencers in our community. I'm having a meeting with Victor Parker in a week.
Yeah.
At the end of the month. Leo Kabline and I, we're going to have a conversation. We're going to reach out to all of those in our community that are really trying to make some changes, and just those people will be at the table, and then we'll identify what our issues are, and then task oriented at that point. So these are all people that we're tired of talking. We're not those kind of people.
That's right.
We're action oriented people. And you take that task and you come back to the table with some results, because we now have to kind of go stealth and guerrilla, as I like to say, because we can't just keep talking about that. In 4 or 5 years, we'll be non-existent.
And that's true. That is true.
And nothing for our children.
That is true.
And which is the reason that I'm so passionate about it, because I got nephews and nieces and nephews that they got to have a decent place to be able to prosper in.
I think this is a good statistic here for people to look at when they're putting together economic development program, or they're putting together any type of program, to look at this and see where they fall in,
right,
and what's out there and what can be done.
So when I was doing the business plan classes, because you and I have this conversation, and other people that are having this conversation, they will have that conversation, but your average business owner doesn't, right?
No.
So that was one of the classes when I did marketing. I started out with demographics, and I think when I sent this on, so there are entities like the Nelson. Everything about us is high-level conversation for them. That report comes out every single year, and when that report comes out, it's letting the big boys know how we shop, because where are we spending that $1.3 trillion, and how do we get that 1.3 trillion? So you got just kind of an abbreviation. There's a book that's 26 pages. And then BET also, they do and this is prior to Oprah owning it. This is when it was sold to the white people. So they know what side of the bed you sleep on. They know what type of toothpaste you use, what toothbrush, everything that you use and everything that you can buy. They're aware of it. And they direct their commercials and advertising to get your money out your pocket.
That's what you call forensics. See, this is amazing, Crystal, because the world of economics, what it's all about, right? It's about one group having resources and the other group trying to get that resources from them, so they can retain it. So that's why they're studying all these behaviors. They want to know how you spend, where you sleep, where you shop, all of that. So once they know that, they can entice you, get those resources from you, keep it for themselves.
Right, exactly. But how many? So you've been doing, we've both been doing what we do for a long time. So how many of your business owners have done their forensics to know exactly who they're...
Not many. I could probably count it on 2 fingers.
and those are probably people that worked in corporate America in technology, right, or in marketing, and that's the only reason they know how to do it.
Wow.
but your average person does not.
This is
amazing, huh?
Unbelievable.
I think we need to have a show, no guests, and just us having this conversation and go through these numbers and how our audience can utilize this information.
Unbelievable. For all of you who are just tuning in, you're watching the Business Zone with
Crystal
Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Crystal.
Yes, our sponsors, Recycling Black Dollars is one of the sponsors. And I just told you who we were. And the Department of General Services, they're our sponsors. And we're very pleased to have them helping to work. They're an entity for the state of California that provide contracts to small business, minority-owned small business owners so that they can obtain contracts with the state of California.
And also to help you to become certified as a small or veteran-owned small business. Now, what Crystal and I were just talking about is very crucial. So we're talking about economic resources and how you can reach out and get those resources. Now, one way of you tapping into those resources is becoming registered with the Department of General Services. So then you can obtain contract opportunities instead of doing business transactionally.
Right, exactly, which will definitely is a game changer.
Big game changer.
So that you're not having to worry about the moms and pops and nickels and dimes. You actually have a contract for a time frame that you can really make some impactful changes in your business.
You can sustain yourself.
Right, exactly.
Instead of waiting to see if someone's going to show up in your business tomorrow to support you, you now know you have a contract for at least a year. So now you can plan accordingly. And that's what I want you small businesses to think about. You reach out to us here on the Business Zone and we'll really, Crystal and I will really be happy to help you out. We've got a program called the Mastermind Contract Readiness Program. Crystal,
yes.
You want to tell them a little bit about that?
It's a program that we conduct. It's a 5-week program, and we actually get you certified in that program with hands-on mentorship from myself and Gilbert. And at the end of the class, you're certified with our guarantee is you're certified with the city and the state of California, and then help you go out and find those contracts in order to be able to move forward. We're going to move the platform into a webinar based so that we can attract and reach out to more people. We feel that's one of the ways that we can elevate our businesses is to get them certified so that they can do businesses with the state of California, other governmental entities, other corporations in the community. So, right. And then our last sponsor is Small Biz Pro.
Small Biz Pro.
Right at the present moment.
And when we take our next break, you'll get to see a video of what Small Biz Pro is about. Small Biz Pro is a business management and compliance research assistance and procurement assistance system that helps small businesses to become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. So if you're a small business, your infrastructure is non-existent, you don't have an infrastructure, you don't know where to go from here, you don't know if you have a business license, if you have a fictitious business name, your articles of incorporation, any of those things, we help you within that system. You can access your documents in 10 seconds or less from anywhere in the world. We've heard about Google, right?
Yeah.
And we've heard about Dropbox.
Yeah.
Well, this is like Google and Dropbox on steroids.
Right.
10 times better. So if you're a small business and you want to have access to opportunities, you want to give us a call. We'll set you up. Crystal,
exactly.
We're going to take a break, right?
Yeah, we're going to take a break. All our guests, some of our guests, we still got another group coming in. We were very popular today.
We got a packed house here today.
And it's all about collaboration. One of the groups, they just merged in together. We got bankers that's representing financial literacy, and then we have a group coming in that's going to talk about how they're going to help, and they are helping young men in our community and youth in our community to be better human beings and to grow into healthy, successful adults. So,
and as we celebrate the National Black Small Business Month, then we'll get all this resources, we'll disseminate it to you, and so you can go out and get your business in order.
Exactly. So we're going to fade to a break right now and make some adjustments so we can bring in our first guest, and we'll move on from there.
So you're on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. Take a break.
All right.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
Each year, the state of California contracts for billions of dollars of goods and services. We as a state can and should leverage our spending power to achieve policy goals that help the people of California. One major policy goal we have is to create jobs and grow our state economy. Promoting the development of small businesses within California is a great way for us to do that, because California's small businesses are the engine of economic growth. 95% of companies in California are small businesses, and with the right opportunities, these small businesses can grow to become the next Apple, Netflix, or Tesla. So let's all do our part to promote small business development and grow our state economy. Together, we can really make
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120.
So we're back in the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And for those of you who are just calling in, just tuning in, our phone number here is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375. This is a great show today. So if there's any questions, any feedback, or any concerns you have that you want to disseminate to us, please go ahead and give us a call. Crystal and I would really love to hear from you. Plus, you'll get to speak with our guest in the studios today. So we're looking forward to hearing from you. So, Crystal, who do we have in the studio today?
We have two of my new favorite friends in the community. Peter Jackson, he's the Vice President and Branch Manager of City National Bank, and Frank Martinez. Frank, I'm not sure your title.
I'm the Relationship Manager for the Crenshaw District Branch.
Excellent,
Okay.
excellent. Well, welcome to the Business Zone.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So
Thanks for
City
having us.
National Bank has come down to Crenshaw, and they're reaching out to our businesses and creating relationships. And so today's show, in addition to being Black Business Month, but this is important, and collaboration is on that collaboration of all of us working together to create a better community for all of us to live in. And Peter, you're actually from the area, aren't
Yes,
you?
I am.
So I'm trying to find the information that you sent me. So
Well, while you're looking for that, Crystal, I just wanted to rehash what the audience who listening out there, and also for our guests, to let you all know what we do here on the Business Zone. We get businesses ready so they can perform. We get them business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. So the workshops that we run, we really help these businesses to understand their financial statements, their balance sheet, their profits and loss, their statement of cash flow, all the ratios they need. So when they come to you guys and you're making an assessment on them, they know exactly why you make that assessment. So because you're going to be looking at those ratios, you're going to be looking at the cash ratio, you're going to be looking at the quick ratio, the working capital ratio, all of those types of things. So we educate them on that. And Crystal is our super duper forensic specialist when it comes to bookkeeping and accounting. She makes it simple for them.
Great.
But it's important. So as Gilbert was saying, one of the things is if we're getting them contract ready, then automatically they're bank loan ready, right?
In most cases, yes. And that's actually a big part of it. Understanding cash flow and what banks look for, but how to add color to the canvas. Most underwriters for banks are very subjective.
Oh, yeah.
They're adverse to risk. They're managing risk. So there's a method, there's a style even to preparing your documents. So you're almost speaking their language. So you're absolutely right.
Exactly.
Right. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
So since I can't find it right now, we're gonna move on. You can tell me about you, and I don't have to read about you. So tell me about yourself. And I didn't have one for Frank anyway. So Frank, you get to tell us about you, and then what is the goal for City National Bank in the community, and how can we all elevate our economic status here and make sure we're all viable in our community?
No, absolutely. And again, thank you. Happy Friday. Thanks for having us. We're really happy to be here and to participate. So, yeah, I'm local. Long story short, the street behind us, Homeland, I used to run up and down. A friend of mine, his parents still live there.
Really?
Oh.
He's a DJ. I won't say anything else than that, but he was our high school DJ, and he lived right off of Homeland, and I used to go over his house, and we'd make mixtapes and scratch and cut. But I grew up right on the corner of Los Angeles Rodeo and Fedco. That was my first job back in groceries.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember because you're not from L.A.
You know what I
so
heard
Fedco
about.
was
That's where
like
the
the,
new Target is.
place.
Yeah, that was a spot. You
That
go
was
in
a
and get
spot.
your pizza. You go, get your little goodies. But it was like the first Target. You had Zodi's,
which
was way back. That was on
Right.
the corner
That was on
of
where Target is
Lawson
on
against Slauson.
Yes.
Right.
And then they have Crystal Stairs there now. But then they had Fedco, which was like, first Target had a camera section and clothing section. Anyway.
It's kind of like a pre-Costco.
You could say that. You could say that. Yeah, you had a membership card. Exactly.
In fact, just recently I was doing some house cleaning and cleaning out some boxes, and I ran across my little Fedco card.
Yeah, you did. Well, there you go. Put that up on eBay. See what happens. No, so I grew up. I went to school, St. Bernard High School. But all my friends, we this is where we were. We would literally be hanging out at the AM/PM at the corner that used to be there.
Okay.
On Fridays, drive up and down Crenshaw. Friends off of Gramercy. So it was just the neighborhood.
Right.
And so very long story short, I was with CD National, started in 2012. I left. And I came back. My old boss was thoughtful and reached out and said, hey, we're opening a new office on Crenshaw Boulevard and think you might be a good fit. And at the time, this was 2016, which was a big year. A lot happened that year, politically, socially.
Right.
And just to be honest with you, I had enough. I was just so done with so many things. I was just frustrated. I was hurt.
Yeah.
I was passionate. And
you
so
guys had just been bought up by Royal Bank of Canada.
That was
right?
in 2015.
Yeah.
And that also helped spurn and create this because they're very philanthropic. And so I had kind of put out there, and I said, I want a role. I said, living with purpose is one thing, but I need to work with purpose. I said, it's about output. It's about giving. And I said, I've been receiving. You have different times and seasons. I said, you know what? This is it. I need to give.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, I got a phone call, tap on the shoulder. And what I'd asked for, what I'd put out there was a role that would allow me that would empower me, but give me a platform to give.
Yeah.
And all the skill sets that I have, everything that I've learned, I can just impart.
Wow.
And that background came from being, I was in church for years. And so my big takeaways from church are you need to impact people.
Yeah.
You need to serve other people.
It was in your DNA.
It was in my DNA, my spiritual DNA. And that was a calling to me. And this kind of found me. I jumped at it. And the main reason I took it was, one, I said I would have a team. I can coach, train, develop them, and help individuals succeed. That's important to me.
Right.
But also I can help my community live their financial lives better.
That's great.
And that's so far, we've been open since October 25th. But we've been planning this for a while. But we've been able to do certain things that we can stand on and say, you know what, we are making a difference in the community. And the goal is to really help both sides of Crenshaw. That's what I like to say. Those on the way up, looking to be established. You could say that's a small business owner, maybe 250,000 revenues and below. Could be startup, pre-revenue.
Right.
People with amazing ideas, but maybe they don't have access to resources. Maybe they don't know where to find incubation. And they say, I've got passion. A friend of mine, his name is Derek Smith, he hosts an event at the Vision Theater called Plug in South LA. And his goal is, he says, maybe the next Mark Zuckerberg can come from Leimert Park, can come from our area.
Yeah.
That is true.
You know we have the smarts for it. You know we have the acumen for it, but we don't always have what we need to get there. And so we've been open for a short time, and immediately we've been attacking initiatives to really not just be authentic, but to make a difference. And part of that is partnering up with Crystal.
Right.
Lucky to meet Miss Mitchell, Jackie B, Recycling Black Dollars, and connect and really support both sides. And what that means for City National is, and you mentioned Royal Bank of Canada, the bank is very focused on the community. And so we are the first black and brown bank, if you will.
That is great.
We've gone to several areas, and a lot of people ask me, and I said, you're kind of out of your footprint. Normally we're Beverly Hills. We're known as the entertainment bank.
Right.
New York. Half the shows in Broadway, about 65% bank with the bank.
Oh, wow.
But what does that mean? What does that mean for this neighborhood? It just means the same service we've given and that white glove, empowered, informed service we brought here. Right. And our neighborhood is always waiting for things that other neighborhoods have.
And this platform really helps all of you guys to really address the CRA requirement, because now you're giving back to the real community as opposed to the well-to-do ones who really don't need it that much.
Right. And that's what's kind of been a head scratcher for some people. You know, we're located on Crenshaw and Coliseum.
Right.
We took out a payday lender. So there have been 65 payday lenders in our neighborhood. Now there's 64.
Oh, wow.
And so I'll be completely honest with you. I've had folks say, you know what? You're by Pep Boys. You're by AAA. It's dirty.
So you guys are the ones.
You're a private bank. Why are you there? You wear these nice suits. Your hair is tight. Why are you there?
Y'all in a strip mall.
You know, why are you in a strip mall? And I said, that's exactly where we need to be. We're right where we need to be.
Right.
Because we're across the street from Denny's.
Yeah.
And guess who meets
black
there?
owned.
Black owned, but guess who meets there?
Recycle McDowell.
And so if we don't, for lack of a better word, post up where people need resources, then what are we really doing?
That's true.
Right.
And so I'm very thankful, and Frank can speak from this himself, that we're proud that the bank, we've gotten tons of support internally. It's actually inspirational inside the bank.
Yeah.
Colleagues are excited to have a Crenshaw branch and that the bank actually put a bank in Crenshaw.
Right.
And we have about 150 clients already in the Crenshaw district, but we have about 100 employees who live in this area who work for the bank. We have black SVPs, you know, but not a lot of people know about it because we just work.
Right.
We just do what we do.
Right.
And so the goal is empowerment. The goal is to lift up. Everyone is local. You know, I don't live in Orange County, and I commute trying to figure out Crenshaw. This is my neighborhood.
Right.
So I knew how to get here.
Well, actually, you wouldn't even be able to get here from Orange County.
That's true. There's too much traffic.
Traffic is insane.
But to what you mentioned, one of the things I'm most proud of is before we opened, we said, okay, if we're going to open a private bank in the neighborhood, how are we going to help people?
Yeah.
Because it's easy to say no. I can say, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Please go down those other banks, just like you did yesterday and last week. And there's already a stigma. You go in, you show your financials decline.
Yeah.
Did you get consideration? Did they do a cash flow analysis? Did they really look to help you? Or they just said, I don't see 3 years above profit. So that's not helping anyone. So what the bank did, and through the CRA initiative, is we partnered with 3 CDFIs, Community Development Financial Institutions. So one is called Opportunity Fund. Another one that you probably know, Pacific Coast Regional, Mark Robinson, Constance Anderson, and Vermont Slauson EDC with Mr. Joe Ruzan.
That's right.
And those are our 3 partners. And so when I took myself and the team, I said, when you go out in your neighborhood to meet the local businesses, put on your community hat. It's not about product. It's about how is your business going? How has a train line disrupted you? How are your neighbors doing? How are your growth goals? How is your business doing? And if we hear anything about need of incubation, they provide for free. They'll help them complete their business tax returns, social online media marketing. They will help them complete their business plans for free. They can be a client, be a student, and be groomed to understand their space, understand what revenue they need, and really know their business to really get the acumen to compete and not just open and then close in 2 months. Because we have a label, and it really sucks, and it annoys me, but and I understand why people say it, but it's just not looking past it. Obviously, the deeper meaning is we're more than just incense businesses. There's so much more than that. There's so much more.
I've got a question, but I'm going to reserve it a little bit until I hear from Frank.
Yes.
You know, have him introduce himself and tell us a little bit about what he brings to the table. So, Frank,
absolutely.
Welcome to the Business Zone.
As I mentioned, my name's Frank Martinez, and I'm the relationship manager for the new Crenshaw District office. My job primarily is to reach out to these business owners, get to know them, get to know what's important to them, and see where they're at. As Peter mentioned, a lot of folks are hesitant to even listen to a bank just simply because they've been turned away so many times and don't never really get a response as to why. Just either you don't make enough money or whatever the case might be. So my job is to really analyze and see what's going on with them and try to help them to get to the next level. If I need to bring a business partner on board or into the mix, so be it. But at the end of the day, be a partner. Every one of our clients, we consider them partners, not so much just a bank relationship. Here's your checking account, here's your debit card, and send them on their way.
Can I throw something in the mix there real quickly? So I'm hearing what you're saying. And I've been around banks for a long time, and quite frankly, a lot of small businesses don't like them. So you know how when you have a girlfriend or a wife, and they take you to the family, and you meet the mother-in-law, you don't like the mother-in-law, or she doesn't like you.
It's more like it.
That's more like it.
It don't matter whether you like her or not.
She doesn't like you.
Past experience.
Exactly.
Just kidding out
I'm
there.
getting flashbacks. So she doesn't like you, but you got to figure out a way to make her like you. Have you ever had that experience?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. So I want to make sure you had it before we talk. So you know how you have to bend over backward, do whatever you need to do to make that mother-in-law like you. And then maybe a year and a half, 2 years on the road, she might say, okay, you can come over, but, she still don't like you that much, right? It's the same thing with small businesses. What is it you think that City National could do to start getting small businesses feeling confident about your presence in the community and that you're here to help them?
Part of the strategy is really getting in front of the client. Like you mentioned, no one's going to open up their doors or their books in the first visit.
Right.
I make it a point to have at least 3 or 4 meetings before we even talk business, just simply because you can't understand the business cycle or what they're experiencing through one meeting.
Right.
It's going to take some time. And whether we need to set up follow-up appointments left and right, whatever the case might be, we're going to take time to get to know your business and what's important to you.
Right.
We're not measured based on widgets, so we don't go knocking on doors, hey, do you want to open a bank account or not? Mm-hmm. It's like, this is my name, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is why I do it. The reason I was hired for here is because I'm your advocate.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We have the backing from the bank as a whole, whatever department we're in, to make sure that we deliver for those businesses that we're meeting.
Right.
Now, whether they're willing to share after the second or third meeting is to be determined by them, really.
Right.
But we have to develop trust with them, and that takes time.
Now, I know Crystal has a question, but I'm going to throw this out there real quickly before Crystal jumps in. I'm going to tell you what small businesses want because I'm a small business too. Plus, I've been in the trenches with them for over 20 years, so I know what they want.
Yes.
Small businesses want a line of credit to start. That's one of the first and foremost things.
Yes.
It's been really difficult to get a line of credit because, like you mentioned, they look at the financials, they look at the ratios and go, oh, you're not ready. And then they just discard of them. Now, there has to be programs available where these small businesses can get started with, say, 20, 30,000, 50,000 as a line of credit that they can tap into. Now, lenders like yourselves, you've got people like Crystal and I who can coach these guys, get them to understand their balance sheet, get them to understand their statement of cash flow, their P&L, and the ratios and why it's important for them to maintain the tax return and report their earnings instead of writing off and saying that these are our losses. So we understand that. So if we can work with you in doing that for these small businesses, I'm telling you, you guys will get a lot of love from these small businesses.
And I think that's wonderful, and I think that's important. And so to your point, what's the plan?
Yeah.
How do we get people comfortable with us?
Yeah.
Because they say, this bank is here, great, but so what?
Yeah.
So a few things. Number one is being genuine and authentic. It's having the right people.
Yeah.
So the office is a black and brown office.
Yeah.
Well, you've got Frank Martinez and Sonia Alvarado.
Yeah.
You have Tony Jackson, Jerry Walker, and myself, Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
So we look like the people we're going out to.
Right.
So when they see me, they're not saying, why are you here?
Right.
They're saying, oh, okay. And we have conversations. So that's number one. Number two is to support the communities that you work in.
Yeah.
So we recently, if you drive by Leimert Park, you see the fence around it. We partnered with the City of LA to help restore and renovate Leimert Park.
Oh,
that was a
great.
big deal.
Excellent.
When we would have meetings, we would all have a roundtable meeting, maybe 20, 25 people, and say, okay, we're going to this area. What can we do?
Yeah.
And I said, we need to do what's sexy and what's disruptive.
Yeah.
Sexy means impactful. So we could give money as a bank to organization X, but if it's too ambiguous, if you as a someone who lives in the neighborhood says, well, who benefited? Like Red Cross. Okay, we gave money, but only 10 cents went to the actual need. A lot of people are weary about how they give, and nothing against the Red Cross or any organization because they do a lot, but people, if I'm giving to a crisis, I want to make sure it got to the person I want to help.
The people with the real need get it.
Right. If not, why do it?
Yeah.
So one of the things we did was we said, okay, well, they looked to myself, another employee, her name is Karen A. Clark. She's the SVP of Diversity and Inclusion. And I said, we need to do something in Leimert Park. There's a homelessness issue, and it's historic. The same family, as you probably know, who designed Central Park in New York, the Olmsted family designed Leimert Park. And it's dusty, it's decrepit, it's having issues.
Yeah.
So why don't we do something? And that's exactly what we did.
Right.
And I'll just toot my own horn. I'm thankful that we were able to do that, but I'm surprised that banks who've been here longer, who have tenured market presence, have done nothing about
because their mission is different.
And all I'm saying is I only bring that up to say that's highlighting our mission. We're truly community focused. So that's part of it. So I can have a narrative to say this is what we put. Money speaks,
Right.
actions speak.
Right.
That's how you know. I can come on here and Frank can come on here and we can
Yeah.
talk and say beautiful things, and you don't ever see us,
Right.
and you don't see what we're doing. So
Right.
that's number 2.
Right.
Number 3 is our approach and our style. So
Mm-hmm.
our approach and style is it's definitely relationship banking. But what that means, to break that down, is we're not transactional. We're not like a McDonald's or a Burger King.
Good.
If you go there, and there's a place for that, but it's not going to give you the TLC you need. Your number,
Yeah.
they have customers. We
Right.
have clients.
Right.
I'm not looking for 1,000 accounts open with $1 that are going to close
Right,
tomorrow, because how
right.
did that benefit you? How did
Right.
that benefit me? I'm looking for
Exactly.
growth.
Right.
And so basically the goal was to come in and say, how can we don't have to say no.
Right.
We don't need to say no. Now we don't have to. So to your point,
Right.
if someone walks in the door, let's say it's the wonderful Miss Crystal Mitchell. She has
Yeah.
a fantastic idea, but it's pre-revenue.
Right.
8 months in, she's almost done with her tax return, and she
Right.
needs a line of credit
Right.
to cover her payroll.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't help you. That didn't benefit anyone. But
Right.
what we do is we look at the tax returns
Yeah.
ourselves. We cash flow it ourselves. We look at the net income, the interest, the depreciation,
Right.
minus distributions and taxes, divided
Right.
by the proposed and the existing debt. And that number, that gives us a baseline. And if you're at that number, great. But if you're not, why aren't you there? So
Right.
that's step number 2.
Right.
Let's look at your receivables. Let's dig in and tell me why. And based on conversations, I said, oh, now I know the speed and the pace of your business. This is how much income you need to make on a monthly basis
Right.
to qualify for the monthly payment,
Right.
because it's lending appropriately. But let's say we still can't do it in-house. Do we just decline it? No. We say, does it go to SBA, or does it go to one of our CDFI partners who we have financially empowered to give you the very resources that you need? Our
Right.
Opportunity Fund, one of them that I'll mention, they specialize in microlending, $2,500 to $250,000. If you push your ice cream cart
Yeah.
and you have 2 and you want 3, small business owner,
Right.
with a signature, you can get up to $10,000.
Right.
No amazing credit score required.
Right.
You do have to be in business at least 1 year to show it's not
Right.
just a dream, it's
Right.
real. But that's an example of access to capital.
Right.
But not just that, they groom you and they walk you through how you spend it,
Right.
how you appropriate it.
Right.
So once it's termed out, you can be in place for the next. So it's responsible lending.
And that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. And Crystal and I were really, trying to build that type of a platform and that type of approach for small business as well. I know you have a question, so I'll let you go ahead.
In fact, and that's absolutely fantastic. And I think I mentioned that in class last week to
Yeah.
a couple of our individuals, because they're right at that place.
Yeah.
But one of the things when we were talking about where you're located, so when they opened up, I actually went over and introduced myself.
Good.
And
You
one
sure
of the
did.
things I did, right? They're like, "Whoa, who's this whirlwind coming in here?" Because you want to know where people, what their positions
That's
are,
right,
and how
that's
they can get incorporated in what you need.
That mother-in-law wants to know what's going on.
Right, exactly. So I was the mother-in-law. I was like, okay, how are you gonna date my daughter?
Yeah, exactly.
Because my
should.
community
As you
is
should.
my
As you
children,
should.
right? So I wanted to know what that was gonna look like.
That's right.
But what I did like was the fact, and this is probably why I bank at Broadway Federal,
Yes.
and also the reason when prior to Broadway Federal, I was at Department of Water and Private Credit Union,
Right.
was because all the people I needed to talk to, as soon as I opened up the door, I could see them and I could talk to them.
Yeah.
I didn't have to
Right.
go, and they weren't situated behind big
Yeah.
brown doors
Yeah.
or behind glass, plexiglass, hands on.
Let me ask you a question. Did you see a teller line when you walked in?
No.
It's because we don't have one.
Right, and so you operate like when I was banking with DWP Credit Union. They sat at a desk like I did, right? and it was so great because eventually those same people, when they did move into a bigger branch and actually had the teller windows, they referred business to me because they know that my business, my coaching and my regular business is accounting and bookkeeping. So they knew what I did just because I had conversations. We had a relationship.
Yeah.
So a lot of my business came from the branch manager. It's like, you know what, we
Interesting,
can
right?
use your help. And I have that same relationship with Vermont Slauson. I'm
Yep.
working with them right now, is getting someone ready so
Wonderful.
that they can refi. Because sometimes that's what has to happen, right? And if I'm working with both sides, then I understand what your objectives are, and I understand what my clients' objectives are, and how we can get there. And financial literacy is a big part of that, because you guys know that our understanding of money and how it works and how banks work, that not every bank is the same, and that depending on what type of business you're in is the bank that you need to be banking with, right?
Exactly. Different banks have different appetites. For
That's right.
example, we bank over 450 law firms. That's one of our spaces. We understand law firms. We know their business cycles. We're not afraid. If they haven't got paid by a case, we get it. And so it's good to know it's more than just a checking account. But if that's all that's offered to you in a credit card, and that's all you've had the last 10 years, then there's so much more to know. And so that's what we're trying to do, is to not only raise the bar for banking, but to be about it, to empower business owners and give them those tools and the conversations that they're probably not going to get. Because, as Frank mentioned, we do have goals, of course. Yes, there are deposit goals and there are loan goals. But the difference is we're judged on the relationships that we bring in. If I meet with you and I can add value to you and I can earn your business and make you comfortable and you can say, wow, I've talked to Peter, he really understands my business. Now we can have a conversation about a credit card. Not because I want you to have it, but maybe you need to make payments for your small business expenses with that credit card to build your business credit to get a line of credit. And then when you get a line of credit, how do you operate it? Do you carry large balances indefinitely, or do you term it out every 45 days to show that you have termed it out and you can get more when you need it? There's strategies to the product that people don't talk about because it's like, thank you, see you later. But Frank says he's a relationship manager. What does that mean? It means he owns the relationship. That means that person, if they call in, they're going to see Frank's name next to their account. So if they walk into another City National Bank, that person has to call Frank before anything can be done. They have to go through Frank. That means you're not just going to be assaulted with sales, but Frank is the go-to expert, and he owns that relationship. Both sides of the balance sheet, from seed to harvest. They're different business owners in different stages, and his job is to walk them through the entire part. And also wealth management, also the transfer of wealth, whatever the needs are. That's what we do.
Preservation of wealth.
Exactly, and the preservation of wealth.
And you did mention something earlier which I really liked. One of the things is when a small business comes into the bank looking for an opportunity, sometimes they don't really know what opportunities they want. So the small business would like the banker to educate them on the different types of opportunities and let them know what opportunities they think might be good for their line of business, their space. And ask some questions about it. The next thing is, because many of these small businesses, they may not tell you that, I just submitted a bid or a proposal, and that is pending right now. I might be awarded a $150,000 contract. Now, that can be part of your consideration when you're looking to give them this line of credit or whatever.
And to that point, I mean, we had a conversation with Crystal for a lot of folks that get certified as minority-owned businesses, whatever the case might be. They think that certification is the end of the road. I got my college degree.
I don't have to job search anymore. They're going to call me.
Exactly. Now, when they submit some sort of bid, and if they're awarded that, part of the award process is, do you have access to capital?
There you go.
To sustain this job.
There you go.
Which a lot of folks don't think about.
There you go.
Most banks, if you have great credit, even when you're opening an account, they might say, oh, congratulations, you qualify for a $50,000 line. And folks are, okay, fine, let me take it. But if the banker doesn't really know, okay, well, they have this bid for $250,000 going on, they're doing a disservice to them. Because in essence, you're setting them up to fail. Or mismanaging. That's part of the conversation that I like to have with clients, where it's like, okay, if you have a line of credit, it's designed for short-term needs. Not go out and buy an equipment that you're going to take 5 years to pay
right
off.
There is what I'm talking about educating these small businesses. Because what you just described, I've been through that. And it was because of ignorance. I didn't know. I got a line of credit, and I'm thinking, oh, I got a line of credit. I can use the money.
Thank you.
I could, and I could take forever to pay it back. No, I got to pay it back within 12 months. No one educated me on that. So once I got burnt with that, then I learned. So in my workshops, I'm teaching these small businesses that the line of credit is only good for 12 months. You don't want to try to get it beyond that. Now, if the bank wants to increase your limit as you go along, then that's great. Or if you want to request an increase, then that's great.
But still, they don't understand that. They think that, and I like what Peter said, because they think it's in place of you going out to bring in more revenue, right? Because whenever you need something, that line of credit is there. But that's not the goal.
That's not what it's about.
Right. I tell my clients that all the time. The goal, and I remember this was a church, and one of the board members, I had told, because I do kind of forecasting, and I don't just do the books if they're a client of mine. I go in and I teach and train so that you understand what is happening with your financials and how we compile these financial statements. So one of the things, they had a school. And this was around the time, at one point you went to a Catholic school, so you understood that going for religious training and part of the school is, that's part of that whole concept, right? It comes with the territory. Right. So for a while, a lot of the churches had schools, but then the charter systems came in. So now that was creating a problem for the Christian schools because they had tuition. And so they were at a place where the church was actually was paying for the school to be open because the tuition and the enrollment was going down. And when I first got there, they had like over 350 students. By the second year, they were down to 125.
So in that sense, they're funding the school.
They're funding the school. The tithes were, and I was like, okay, wait, guys, you're going to have to make some real hard decisions here. You're going to have to close the school because you are literally paying and funding the school to stay open. And this is not benefiting you. It's because you only have one source of income. It's the tithes. So
you know how that can go.
And so they did to do that, but then one of the board members said they got a loan. And this was right before the crash. So this is when there's not that many banks that will loan money to churches in the first place. So Broadway Federal was one of those because the Hudsons were part of the community. So that became a big problem because when the market crashed, then they had to sell pieces of the bank away to the Asian community. I mean, I think it's to the Asian. I think they were the ones bought into it, and it became public. It's a public traded company. But however, a lot of they had to foreclose on some of those loans, right? And so that created a problem for a lot of churches. But the one of the board members kept saying, "Let's go get another loan. Let's go get another loan." No, that's not how you do business.
No, you need to generate revenue.
That is not going to solve the problem. You guys need another stream of revenue.
So to talk about it, for the last segment, you had a lot of good things to say, and I think, like right now, we could, on Saturday, have a business day, community empowerment day.
Right.
But maybe not everyone would show up.
That's true.
Why? A lot of people don't believe, they don't think it'll really help them. And that could just come from exhaustion from past experiences.
If they have a bad taste in their mouth.
And that's the reality. But I think the benefit of the changes that are coming to the neighborhood is it creates a certain pressure. And I think for those of us who can become entrepreneurial, that's a great way to close gaps. And I think part of the reason we're powwowing and we're connecting and we're talking is we're trying to make noise to say there are resources that are here to empower you. And if you have a vision, we'll help you. If you're in the beginning, the middle, or end phase, that's great. Thank God you have a vision. Let's move forward. And I think that is the message that can hopefully make people say, you know what, I want to connect. And that's what we want to do.
Exactly. And I think it's great. I think because it's important, and we are at a time in our community where major changes are going on, and we do have to jumpstart the our feelings and not be so apathetic about what's happening. And then Gilbert is absolutely right. Joe Rizan, when he was working for the city, there was a program that he had where, and I think I mentioned it to you guys when we sat down, where they were providing loans to anyone that had been denied. Right, and they had this whole big pool of money at the city, and they weren't. It wasn't the way the program was set up. They couldn't do a direct market, so they reached out to the CBOs to make it happen. Right, but so many people have such a bad taste from being denied access to their capital, that they had thrown out all their denial levels. Nobody would go to Joe. Joe literally, so I think they moved the money somewhere else because he really couldn't give it to anybody because they were, I don't want to go through that process again. So that's making that process more easy or accessible, and understanding that there's a mentorship process that has to go along with them coming to you to sit down and have conversation. I'm sitting in with one of my clients right now for a refi, and there's a team, and we're sitting there, and we all have our input. I know what they're looking for in order to do what they need to do. He knows what he needs to do, and so now we can work together. Because there was one thing when you're saying we sit and look at your financials and understand what the circumstances are and how money flows into your community, your business, and how money flows out.
Right.
Now you can help me sit down and say, okay, look, this is where we are. We might not be able to help you right at this present moment, but we can send you over to the opportunity fund. And in the meantime, let's start building your revenue up to a certain level. So now we can really help you grow your business.
Exactly.
You know, when it's time to hire employees, when it's time to buy new equipment and that kind of stuff. We had a guy on the show last week. It was factoring. It was like a new type of. Because most people, when you say factoring, you're like, oh no, can't do factoring.
Is that a math
right. But he had a really great program, a new approach to factoring, which could be a financial alternative.
Yeah, we're looking at all different options right now, and one of the things that I tell my clients, and I'm sure Crystal tell our clients the same thing, is that with small businesses, everyone is designed to tell you no. Your clients are going to tell you no. Your competitors are going to tell you no. Contract providers will tell you no. The banks will tell you no. Even your family members will tell you no. You see what I mean? So you got to be creative. You got to create that yes as an entrepreneur.
And there is some help coming. I sit on a committee. It's Victor Parker at SBA and an initiative that the Milken Institute is. You guys have heard of Plum?
Of course.
Partners for Leadership in the Underserved Community. So we're at the third phase now. So I was on a conference call on Wednesday, and we were talking about, okay, what that third phase. So it's incubator systems, and one of the things, one of the items on the agenda items was what other alternative besides banks. So they had spent a lot of time milking talking about crowdfunding, but there's other aspects to crowdfunding that doesn't make it always the best resource because it really you have to understand marketing and PR for it to really work. Right? So we talked about community funds, which I guess is somewhat what the opportunity fund is, right? And like the Jewish Foundation Fund and the Asian Foundation, having that kind of fund where you can go back and reinvest in the fund so that the monies and the funds are always there from a startup standpoint. And I think that's important. So that's some of the things that we want to be able to push out. But the Milken, they stepped in 2 years ago, and it's a 2-year initiative, and we're talking about all aspects of why it's so the lending process in our community is so different than in other communities.
Yeah,
it's amazing, Peter and Frank. We could have had you guys here like on 3, 4, 5 shows just talking about this and how we can help these small businesses. Unfortunately, our time is running out. But what I'd really like you to do is to tell our audience out there how they can get a hold of you and what they need to do in order to get in touch.
Sure. Well, one, we'll invite you to come down. We're on Crenshaw and Coliseum, right at the corner, right slam between AAA and the gas company.
Okay.
That's number one. We can be reached at our email addresses, which we can leave. I can say on the air or call me directly.
Yeah, you can say it on the air.
Peter.Jackson at cnb.com.
Okay.
And Frank?
Mine is frank.martinez at cnb.com.
Okay. And my someone wants to call, 323-761-5902 is my direct line.
Okay.
And I just want to connect. And in closing, I'll just say this. Private bank comes in, a predominantly black neighborhood.
Yeah.
The whole team is local from the area.
Yeah. Smart,
talented.
Yeah.
They didn't just grab us off the street. We're pretty good at what we do, but we have a heart for our neighborhood.
Right.
So if we can help, we're right here, and hopefully we'll buck up into you in the street. But we'd love to connect with you, and because it's times and seasons. That doesn't happen every day.
That's right.
Exactly.
So, Frank, what's your number?
323-761-5904. To Peter's point as well, we are just looking to connect with folks.
Yes.
At the end of the day, our job isn't just banking or lending or anything. It's to expand on your Rolodex as well.
That's right.
If we need to connect you with business partners for microloans or technical assistance.
Yes.
Or a radio show.
Or a radio
radio
show.
Show.
We're definitely going to invite them back. We're definitely going to invite you guys back. Hopefully throughout this month, right?
Actually, Peter could have a sexy radio show. He's got the voice for talking about financials for seeing that at nighttime.
Late night financial.
Midnight financials. He'd have all the ladies calling in.
Hi, this is Peter. This is the Midnight
Let me talk about
Financial.
bank loans. That's being creative. We're entrepreneurs. What can we say? I'm going to give you guys this. We're going to reach out to you, myself, and the Urban League. We do this business camp for youth every summer, and it's between the ages of 12 and 18, and we teach kids how to become entrepreneurs. It's this year is going to be a 3-week camp, and they go in, and this is 120 hours, and this is not just
they're putting in some time.
They're putting in some time, and at the end of the camp, they're going to pitch their business. So we're going to be calling you guys, the bank itself, for possible sponsorship, because this is a free camp for them. And as well is we like mentors to come to the camp. Okay. And we're going to be right there at KIP Academy, which is over on. I think they're in Florida, Figueroa, and Figueroa. And we like mentors to come in when we get to the financials. We'd love to have you just maybe an hour or two to sit there and talk to the kids and talk to them about the banking and aspects.
You know, when I talk to kids, especially who know, I always use a Jay-Z versus Nas analogy.
Oh, okay.
All right.
That now get their attention.
They get that,
but it's all about finance.
That's true.
And it's all about what you do with your dollars and how it can affect you.
See, that's exactly.
I'm ready.
So we'd love to have you. We're going to reach out. We're and reach out to you for several reasons, but certainly. I think for our kids, and this is, I've been doing this. I'm a certified Nifty educator, so and so is my partner
Not
Rhonda.
Surprised.
Yeah. What can I say? And so this is one of the passions that I have. And so these kids actually could create business. They're creating a business. The next level is getting them funded, because some of them have some amazing ideas, and it would be a great way for them to raise money to go to college. But you will absolutely love it. It's such a warm and fuzzy feeling to give back to the kids, and we've been doing it for 13 years now with the Urban League. And so this is one. Yeah, I know you didn't even know that, did you?
13 years.
13 years, right? So, yeah. So before you leave, when did you graduate from St. Bernard's?
Here we go. Class of 92.
Okay, because my girlfriend went to all her friends, and especially all of her Catholic school friends. They all went to St. Bernard's. Okay. And I think she came out in the late 80s, though. Okay. Yeah, Daisy Bellamy, as she called them, all her Creole friends, they all graduated from St. Bernard's.
Well, I started 88.
So okay.
They were probably on their way out.
On their way out. Well, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed yourself. And we definitely can have you come back.
Anytime.
We definitely got to bring you
keep
back.
up the great work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we really want to, Crystal started off the show talking about how small businesses are dying in our community. We want to preserve those businesses.
Right.
So, reaching out to you and having you providing the resources that you do and the knowledge that you guys do to educate these businesses, phenomenal. So.
Yeah, and I don't know if you heard when I first was talking about the street line, the Boulevard of Pride. Yeah. So we need to bring back the Boulevard of Pride,
definitely.
Right? Yeah.
It's there.
Definitely. Yeah. So we want to thank you guys so much. For those of you who are listening to this show, this was an amazing segment. We're talking about money and how you guys can get money to grow and expand your business. So give us a call. Our guests left their numbers, and we're gonna post it up on the video, because this show goes live on YouTube.
It's actually live right now. Right. It's live on YouTube, and it's live on Facebook.
There'll be a video, so you guys can get the link, and you can also use that link for marketing purposes as well.
Right.
Thank you.
So we definitely want to thank you. So we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break and bring our next guest on. And for those of you who are listening and viewing us, our phone number here is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375. We're going to go ahead and take a break, Crystal.
Right, and then we'll take our little customary picture before they leave, and move on to the next segment. Thank you, guys.
Take a break.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
Each year, the state of California contracts for billions of dollars of goods and services. We as a state can and should leverage our spending power to achieve policy goals that help the people of California. One major policy goal we have is to create jobs and grow our state economy. Promoting the development of small businesses within California is a great way for us to do that, because California small businesses are the engine of economic growth. 95% of companies in California are small businesses, and with the right opportunities, these small businesses can grow to become the next Apple, Netflix, or Tesla. So let's all do our part to promote small business development and grow our state economy. Together, we can really make.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
Each year, the state of California contracts for billions of dollars of goods and services. We as a state can and should leverage our spending power to achieve policy goals that help the people of California. One major policy goal we have is to create jobs and grow our state economy. Promoting the development of small businesses within California is a great way for us to do that, because California small businesses are the engine of economic growth. 95% of companies in California are small businesses, and with the right opportunities, these small businesses can grow to become the next Apple, Netflix, or Tesla. So let's all do our part to promote small business development and grow our state economy. Together, we can really make.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
Each year, the state of California contracts for billions of dollars of goods and services. We as a state can and should leverage our spending power to achieve policy goals that help the people of California. One major policy goal we have is to create jobs and grow our state economy. Promoting the development of small businesses within California is a great way for us to do that, because California small businesses are the engine of economic growth. 95% of companies in California are small businesses, and with the right opportunities, these small businesses can grow to become the next Apple, Netflix, or Tesla. So let's all do our part to promote small business development and grow our state economy. Together, we can really make.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not
So we're
ready.
back on the Business Zone with
Crystal?
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. Just had an amazing section there, huh?
I know, huh? Now that's banking done differently, isn't it?
Banking done differently. Now we're going to have entertainment done differently.
Right, yeah, because these guys right here, they're doing business the way I like to do business.
That's
they
what
have
I'm talking about.
merged their efforts and their skill sets and talent
Wow.
into one business, and that is actually their name, Emerge.
That's what I'm talking about.
It is an evolution group entertainment. So they're going to tell us a little bit more about what they're doing. They have an event coming up April 21st, and they're going to talk to us about that. It's called Love, Paint, and Soul. And they're launching, I guess, are you launching your business?
we are definitely launching the business.
Oh, so you guys
Okay.
going to need to talk to us then.
So we have Kimberly McDowell right here, beautiful lady. We know each other from dance class. We take a burlesque class
We're gonna have
together.
to talk about that.
You probably didn't want anybody to know that,
Yeah,
but I don't have a problem with that. but she's it's just
thank
regular dancing. We're in a dance class.
And we do very well.
We do very well, so I met her at Crenshaw Yoga and Dance, run by Carly Young, and then we have Danica Clark, right? Because that's a different name than what.
Oh, Clark.
Clark, yes, right,
okay.
and then we have Terry Dictum.
Didum. Let me clear it. My name is Terry Bolin. Didum is my artist name.
Okay, so there we
Because
have
just in case my mother is listening.
and is it Kate? So that's your performance name?
Copes is my maiden name.
Copes is your maiden name. Okay.
It's got that diva
You're
look
just
right
who
here.
you are. Right?
I'm just who I am all the time, as best as I can be.
So tell us what's behind the passion of merging your businesses and what your businesses are prior to the merge, and how you're going to make that all come together, and what's the purpose and the goals behind it.
Okay. You guys want me to start? Okay.
Yes.
Well, first of all, we all came together. We're all classmates. Class of '87 from Washington High School.
Oh, really? Okay.
Was alive.
In fact, I just met when it became Washington Prep, same school, right? And Mr. McKenna.
Mr. McKenna.
I was at Harold and Bell's last week,
wow.
and he came in, and I was introduced to him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Small world.
Yes.
Small world. Yeah, so over the years of, we've been close friends for quite a while, and been very supportive of each other's brands for a minute. And I was talking to Danica. We were conversing on the phone, and I just came up with a concept. I said, we've always been there of supporting each other, just all of our brands. Why not come together to just do things on a larger scale?
That's
and
great.
Right.
We sat at the table and talked about it, and everyone said, wow, that's a great idea. So one of the other reasons why I wanted to do that is when it comes down to just people that have small businesses, period, I think a lot of times they don't grow because people don't take the time to partner with people.
Right.
We tend to hoard everything to ourselves and feel like, hey, I can make it on my own. But, when you look at the Oprahs and the Tyler Perrys,
Right.
People can put their egos to the side and say, hey, man, this is a great idea.
Yeah.
Let's put the egos to the side, put the money on the table, make it work for everybody.
Right.
So that's what this whole concept came about. And on our event on April 21st, we just want to show people that this can work. When people have their own brands, and they're making big moves, but if you just partner, put the egos aside, and people see the magic just happen in the room and go, wow, like, you know what, maybe I can just talk to this person that's next to me that I don't know. That's the other thing, is that sometimes we're standing right next to our $1 million, but because we didn't open up our mouths, we miss out on the
You
rest
miss
of
out
it.
on it.
Right.
So that's what we want people to see in the room that night.
And so each one of you, you're the investor, you're the inspiration, and
I'm the artist.
you're the
You're the
artist.
artist.
And
I'm the
then
artist.
Danielle is.
Danielle Johnson is our partner as well. She is located in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
She's the closer.
And she's the closer.
She's the closer. Well, you can't get any better as a collaboration if
Right.
everybody have
Right.
distinctive purposes. So you're using your own individual talents to do that. So what is your business?
My business is Butterfly Works.
Okay, and so
What does it do?
Butterfly Works does many things. We're an entertainment group. We do production. We produce comedy shows. We're actually in post-production for Screw the Rules comedy 1-hour special that was filmed last August in 2017. That was nice. They supported the event.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, they did.
Very,
We were there.
it was our first
Amazing.
major event. Butterfly Works, we also do strategic philanthropic awareness to the community.
Oh.
There's a lot that our community doesn't know about. Communication, the 13th Amendment, things of that sort. We're going to plan a reading event for our youth because our youth, especially our young African American males, They are very, very disenfranchised and criminalized.
Yeah.
That is a passion of Butterfly Works. So we're philanthropic, we're strategic, and we want to employ our young men because there's a grave, grave deficit. We partnered, and Butterfly Works has done that. So, yeah, we're in post-production for Screw the Rules, and we're also producing a documentary right now. That'll be released in October.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
And Danica, your business?
My business is Imagine Me Productions is a visual performing arts ministry, and it's designed to give actors a platform to display their God-given talents and to pursue their passion and their gifts. How it came about is I was a youth pastor at the time, so it is a faith-based organization. I was a youth pastor at the time, so I found a way to combine my love for ministry and my love for the stage, which is performing arts. So in doing a lot of fundraising for the church and the youth ministries and the outreach programs that we had at Family of Faith Christian Center, we started to develop the talents and noticed that a lot of the kids in the church had talent. And there's not a lot of performing arts programs that are available at schools anymore, in our community, and that's another reason why we partnered as well and came together to collaborate so we can bring back certain programs to the community for our youth.
Okay, fantastic. So you're a nonprofit.
Yes.
Okay, but your businesses are for-profits. Okay. And then your business prior to, you're an artist, so what's your specialties?
Mine, wow.
Well, that means a lot.
He's got that voice like he sings slow jam.
Oh, man. So people in LA know me for different things. So starting off, I was an artist as well, formerly a gospel artist with a group called Spiritual Pieces. We were signed to Tommy Boy Gospel at the time, same label with Kimberly. So that's one of my things of being a singer, songwriter, arranger, producer. And I sat that down for a minute. I'm still active at my church, though. I do praise and worship. And I also, the young people at my church, I'm also teaching that and showing them how to, lead worship. Trying to bring worship back into church. So that's one of the things. But branding, right now, I'm a person that's into branding. And, small businesses, a lot of times I try to help those small businesses out to let them know that it's possible to get your business off the ground. And don't just stop at thinking that once I have my logo, once I'm branded, that's it. So a lot of times I'm consulting as well. To just let them know after that, you need your advertisement, you need marketing strategies and things like that. And I work with people. I'll let them know what the budget is, and a lot of times people get scared when they hear the numbers, and I'm like, do not be afraid of the numbers. Let's sit down, let's come up with a plan, and I'll work with you. But do your homework. Google everything that you need, and let's talk about it. Let's sit at the table, and I'll help you out. And I've done that. Taste the Soul. I have quite a few clients that was out there, but their businesses for the first time within the past 5 years, like, wow, like I did it. And I'm like, yeah, it's all the way possible. It's about you finding someone that you can trust, and you guys ride it out, and that's what I do. I stick with clients. I don't just do a one-time job. I'm like, I'm here. And the two gentlemen that was here before us, one of the things that I really loved about them that they were saying, it's about having that relationship. And that's one of the things that we have, and we want to start bringing that back to the people that have lost that in LA. Let's bring relationship back. Let's bring that love back.
And it's important. And that's Gilbert and I. We're partnered on many projects. In fact, that's how we came together for the show. Was I have my businesses and he has his businesses, and we realized that there was synergy with our talents and skills, just very much like you guys. And my business has always been based upon. I've been in business for 20 years. And I have collaborative partners. I run Recycle Black Dollars with a partner. BusinessZone is with a partner. Gilbert and I, we created an educational a component of the business zone. So we're focusing on getting businesses certified. And then I have my own coaching business, which I reach out to all the other people in the community, because if we seal up that link, that weak link, then we can make our community stronger.
Absolutely.
Right? And if you take on your own industry, so this is fantastic. You guys are in the arts and the cultural industry, and bringing business to those new young artists that are coming out that are creative, but don't have that other side of it, right? Because you can't be successful without the business structure. And then you guys are working together, which is a real key component in being able to elevate. So when you, Kimberly, when you do the Love, Paint, and Soul, what are you guys, what's the purpose, and other than, in addition to the launching?
The purpose is, as Terry mentioned earlier, wow, you really put me on the spot.
See, that's the thing with entrepreneurs. You gotta be ready at all times.
I must tell you, I have emerged through this process because I'm the shy one, and they keep saying, you got to get out there, Kimberly. Okay, so I'm out here. So to answer your question, Love, Paint, and Soul is just really that. It's love, and we'll have an artist on stage painting while they're listening to...
Oh, fantastic.
Angie Fisher, Blue Mitchell, and we have another artist as well, a poetry artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bernard Irby.
Bernard. Yes, Bernard. But it's really what he said about us collaborating and being able to display that you can work together in love and don't be afraid. Yeah. You can't grow unless you support one another.
That's right.
So this really is about community. For me, it's about love because I truly do love them.
Okay.
Every moment. Every text I send, at the end of it, I say, I love you all. And I really do. I don't, So I'm emerging, but that's what it's about. And thank you for putting me on the spot. It's April 21st. I am so excited. I showed you. We're so excited. I'm getting my dress.
I saw the dress the other day
by the owner next door, the black business owner.
Yes, Sun and Seas, Kimiko. She's a wonderful learn to sew. She's teaching the community how to sew. We are so talented.
Oh yeah.
And we just don't maximize all our talent, right? And I'm reading a book right now, and if you guys are into this kind of stuff, I'm an activist in addition to all the other hats that I wear. But I'm reading a book called Collective Courage, and it's a book, and it's by Jessica Nimhard, and it talks about exactly what you guys are doing, how we as a people, after we were emancipated, how we had no choice but to come together to create a mutual benefit for each other. And so if I didn't have a tractor, but I had the land, I was gifted with land from my slave owner, then we took the tractor and we brought it over, and we grew our vegetables collectively so we could feed our whole little town there. And that is how we acquired Black Wall Street, because we put our eagles and all the other stuff aside. We had the same history, so we came together to build. Awesome. And if you have not seen or know the story of Black Wall Street, there are over 600 businesses that were black owned. They had 3 airplanes, so doctors and lawyers and Indian chiefs and you name it, and we worked together.
Wow.
And
that's
there were
what we got to try to
we
bring
got
back.
to come together like that. The porters, and that's one of the mutual collaborations that they brought together was the train, the porters. They created like a union that not just for them, it was for their families. And if one family fell on hard times, then the other families helped them to stay whole. And that's why we all have to collaborate together and create an ecosystem that we interlink with one another to help each other to grow, because other communities are doing that. Other nationalities do that, and they never have to apologize for that.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that the big thing is the strategic plan. We know what the solution is, but we have to execute that plan.
Yeah.
And we have to understand that slow and steady wins the race.
Right.
Everyone is so instantaneous.
Right.
This is a microwave society.
Yeah.
I
Right
want
now
mine.
thing.
I want
I want it
benefit
yesterday.
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
or I wanted it last week.
Don't want to go
yesterday.
through the process.
Yeah, we have to go through the process. And what we do, I love that you're reaching out to the youth and teaching them business acumen, because they'll see once they go through their business plan and they do their SWOT analysis or whatever, their PERT analysis,
Yeah.
they'll realize that this takes research, it takes a process. But once they're embedded,
Yeah.
once they have the weigh-in, then they'll have the buy-in, and they'll respect the process.
Exactly.
And will learn patience. And I think not even the younger generation, but every generation, we need to have a bit of patience and, like we did, set our egos aside and understand that we all have a voice, we all have our lane, but we respect one another's positions.
Right, and
Right.
that we can grow. And yeah, the youth program, the youth piece, it is very important to me. And when the kids come up with these the ideas are just off the chain.
Yeah.
Last year when we did it, we have 25 kids in a class. And this time we're doing 2 sessions with 25 kids in a class for 3 weeks. And but last year I told them we had our sponsor was American Airlines, and so they wanted us for the kids to create a business that potentially American Airlines could purchase from them, right? So these kids went way above. We had young kids. The one that won, she was on our show, and I can send you guys the link. She was amazing. She's 14 years old. Her name is Hannah, and Hannah created an urban organic garden, and they're called in towers, so they could grow over 50 pounds of fruits and vegetables, and it grows up tall like this.
Wow.
It's about 5 feet tall in pots. And so she won based upon the concept, and she, worked out the numbers and everything. And then we had a kid that was coming up with a when you disembark from the plane, everybody, as soon as the plane lands, right, everybody ready to go. So his idea was that for safety purposes was a retractable arm that the rows could go out one by one.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
so,
amazing,
And
isn't
then, and then biodegradable fuel to reduce the fuel cost of planes, which could then reduce the price of the plane ticket.
Yeah.
So these were the ideas, and these kids were between the ages of 12 and 18.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And most of them, I think we had 2 18-year-olds, most of these kids. So nothing small. Nobody was talking about T-shirts and jewelry. Everybody was talking big stuff that American
great to hear,
Airlines could
especially for
actually
kids.
purchase. And so now our next level, our next phase is to actually get the businesses off the ground, to get them some seed funding so that they could send a child to college. There's some kids out there making money.
Yeah.
One young lady, she has a hair product that I think she makes about last year she made about $250,000. And this child is 16 years old. And she started the business when she was 13.
Well,
Wow.
the thing that Danica and I were speaking on the other night was how there's a disconnect between the younger generation and our generation, and how the younger generation feels that we don't listen to them.
Right.
Yet another communication event for Butterfly Works. But it sounds like there's that pipeline that's open, that pipeline of communication, and it's key because they need the wisdom. They have the ideas. They need the wisdom to know how to execute that idea. And then you come together, emerge and collaborate, and then be profitable, not only monetarily but socially and personally.
Yeah, that's fantastic. In fact, we'd love to have you guys. I think I have another little flyer here, a couple flyers. You guys to be mentors, and you can just get that volunteer an hour or two. We got 2 camps, and they're all day. They get there at 9:00 in the morning, and they leave at 5, and just come in and just have a conversation with the kids. Also, our other guests that were supposed to be here, but they called earlier. They weren't stuck in traffic, and I'd like to introduce you to them because they're called Manhood Camp. And it's for young kids so that the youth guidance and leadership, and he has camps for them. He and his 2 of them Trayvon Tellis and Mark Whitler. They were in the Sentinel last week, I believe, and that's how I saw them. But what they're doing is sitting down and bringing to the table to the kids someone, I saw on their website them talking to the police and the police law enforcement coming out and having a conversation how to speak to us and how to protect yourself, which is very important. And I have another good friend that's his space as well. So I'd like to introduce you guys to him. He just wrote a book called Barbed Wire Souls. And so he's teaching the children how, again, to protect themselves from law enforcement so that they will grow up safe and walk away alive. And he does it through storytelling. And then at the end of each chapter, he has action items based upon the stories that he learned from his grandfather. So I'd like to introduce you guys to him.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's my lane as well. I mean, I've done like 6 children's books. So,
okay.
With, affirming our young girls and trying to get to these young boys, with not having the fathers around. And, we need to start telling them that they're kings again. And that's one of the things.
Right. And then if you're really doing that, that's how you guys are. You got the faith piece, and then you're the educator as well. Yeah. And then you have the platform so you can produce programs and documentaries.
Yes, I just have the passion to help my community, and there's a need to help the African American male. So that's what I've been called to do.
Well, I absolutely love it.
How do you guys see you working together as a nonprofit and a for-profit? How do you make that work?
Well,
because there are different dynamics there, and for tax purposes, you got to delineate between the two. Revenues that come in from the nonprofit, you got to show where that's going.
Exactly.
And you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So
it's accounting. I know that Butterfly Works is in the process of doing a nonprofit because that's just where it led to with helping the community.
Actually, what would be a better status for you is a social enterprise.
Okay.
So the social enterprise blends both together, and it's actually a structure now. One of the ones, for reference sake, is Homeboy Bakeries, and the AIDS Foundation, where the Out of the Closet is also a social enterprise. So what they do is they use the nonprofit for grants and so forth, and then they use the for-profit to support the operating costs of running the business, right? So there's actually a structure now, and it's really, really popular. It's actually even a degree at Cal State Irvine.
Really?
Wow. One of the young ladies that I work with Nifty, who's the educational piece for the kids, that's what her degree is in social enterprise.
Nice.
Yeah, I see what you guys do blending itself perfectly in the social enterprise space, especially what you're doing, and because you guys are working a lot with kids. You're working. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that would be perfect for that.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you.
So I just wanted to throw that out because you guys have a good mission. I just want to make sure that it doesn't get distorted with the administrative stuff that you guys don't know.
Right.
Because then later on, you have the IRS knocking on your door going.
And that's what you're here for.
Exactly. But that would be the best structure for you. That way the nonprofit piece can go out and get grants. There's tons of money out there for the kids. And, even the gentleman that just left City National Bank, they do sponsorship as well for event, and they will do it based upon events as well. And then if you partner up, I think the thing right now for finding funding for nonprofits, if several groups are coming together that are working for the same population, and then one's a fiscal agent, and then you can get bigger grants, like $1 million grants. I know Sam's Club did an $8 million grant, and 4 Hispanic organizations came together and got that $8 million, and then they dispersed it amongst the 4 for each one of their programs. So that's how we have to start thinking big, right?
I like the way you think. Think big.
And also, what I was thinking when you spoke about what you're doing for the kids, immediately my brain went straight to Verizon. Verizon would be a good sponsor for them.
And actually, the Nifty program is sponsoring not our camp, but we're going to go after them.
Right.
But for the Nifty, they've been
Verizon, AT&T.
Yeah.
Home Depot's also
Home
good.
Depot.
Yeah, Home Depot
Southern
and AT&T,
California
I'm sure.
Edison.
Yeah.
And if you throw some tech in there, Southern California all on top of it.
Okay.
So if you're
We're taking
teaching them the
notes.
technology piece of production, and that will get them in. Sempra, the gas company, they'll do that kind of stuff. So look into your that format, and then that way you can do your productions and not have to worry about money.
Yeah.
Well, that's always a good thing.
See, I love this. This is what it's all about. I mean, just willingly just giving information.
That's
I mean, and
what
it
I'm
doesn't
talking
hurt
about.
you to do
Right.
it.
No.
You know, and that's
This
our
is
whole
all
point.
about.
Right.
You know,
And
it's not
however
gonna hurt
Gilbert
me.
and I can be assistants
so
doing
much.
what we're doing and helping you guys do what you do.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only
Wow.
way we're going to create this void in our community.
Wow, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, my question is this. Are you guys coming to the event?
Which is the 21st, which is next weekend, next Saturday.
I will be seeing you Wednesday.
Yes, I'll be there.
Okay,
I'm
all
speaking
right.
in the morning,
Okay.
so that gives me enough time to come home.
time is it? What
It's
time?
at 8. It's from 8:00 to 8:30
Okay.
to 2:30, 12:30, 12:30.
And it's a red carpet event.
A red carpet. And where? 15th Avenue. Where's that?
Downtown LA, just a little bit west of the Arts District.
Oh, okay. Okay, I know it is. So that's not so bad for
Near
you to
the
come
10.
in
Yeah, I
from
know.
our Alhambra.
I have a problem, man, coming on the west side. Woo.
So that area is bustling right now as
Yeah.
far as real estate's
It is,
concerned.
it is.
Downtown is bustling, so
It
it's
is.
trickling into the Arts District.
Yeah.
So we have this wonderful loft. It's
Yeah.
like that Love Jones kind of feel.
Oh, wonderful.
So
Very
we-
East Coast feel.
very
I
East
like
Coast
that.
feel. We wanted to give that living room effect.
Yeah. That's
Angie
great.
Fisher, Blue Mitchell. Oh my gosh!
And
I
Angie,
can't
are
wait.
you familiar with her?
Uh-uh.
So
Name's
Angie, she
familiar, though.
was nominated for a Grammy. I think that was it 2 years ago now?
Oh, yeah?
Maybe 2 years ago, but yes, she
Wow.
was nominated for a Grammy for her single. It was called The IRS. They
Wow.
played on KJ.
Oh, okay. I'll have to go pull her up.
But she's sung for a lot of people, background for a lot of people in the industry.
Man, I wish we had a lot more time to
I
go
know.
through
So
this,
why don't you
but
guys shout out about the
unfortunately-
event and make sure everybody come.
Give them
I
a
already
phone
found the
number.
link for the tickets, so
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
purchase my
All
ticket.
right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Go ahead, tell them how they can get a hold of you. And
You go.
Okay, our event, Love, Paint, and Soul, is coming up next Saturday, August 21st at 8 p.m. You can find our tickets at www.brownpapertickets.com. We would love to have you out. It's going to be a large social networking
Yes.
event. Bring your business cards, wear your best dress, get ready for the red carpet, and we'll see you next Saturday.
that's
Next
right.
Saturday.
That's right.
All righty. Well, wow, that was a quick 2 hours.
You know, with that being said, we're at the 5:02 marker. I won't be here, Small Biz Pros. I won't be here next week because I'm starting a gig in Vegas on the 19th, next Thursday, which will spill over on Friday the next day. So it's 8 weeks. So I'm working with small businesses in the Las Vegas area, helping them to become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready, so they can help build that arena that for the Raiders in Vegas. So every Thursday I will not be here, and Friday. So
Oh, okay.
Or-
So next week we're going to have Don Strozier, who
Oh.
was here with Angelique when they were here for the show.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
yes.
Don is going to be my
She's
co-host
phenomenal.
next week.
Yes, she's
and I'm
phenomenal.
going to be looking for co-hosts when
Yes.
he's out of town.
Okay.
So, look
There
at
you go.
that.
That's what I'm talking
I might got
about.
2 co-hosts right here. So I'll be looking for co-hosts. Anybody interested, then reach out. And then I got a list of co-hosts that I got a couple friends. I just have to call them an hour before. It's like, yeah, okay, I'll be there. So,
Sounds good.
so
Sounds
while
good.
Gilbert's out of town,
Yes.
then we'll fill in this space and hold the seat hot, warm for him until he gets
Sounds
back.
great. Appreciate it. So this is the end of our show.
Yeah, it
And
is.
for those of you who've just tuned in for the first time and you hear this wonderful show, you can have it every week, every Friday from 3 to 5 on the Business Zone at morrismedialive.com.
Right, and then you can go to our YouTube channel, the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. Please subscribe. We've been trying to get subscriptions. We will be on air for 2 years on July 8th, and we've been just trying to get a little love, guys.
I'm
little love.
subscribing tonight.
Beautiful.
So we will see you guys next Friday, or I will see you guys next Friday. Gilbert will be here in spirit.
I'll be here in spirit.
Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend and a powerful week, and we'll see you next week. And get your tickets for Love, Paint, and Soul.
Yes,
we're out.
Bye.
Awesome. As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business